Hello everyone, Krydax here, and welcome back to pYanodon's Season 3. In our last episode, we got our ash kind of dealings dealt with. I had made a couple mistakes with these, so I fixed that. The numbers were wrong. I had done stack numbers, and I also needed to filter this because this could potentially grab gold, I think, from the backside of that belt. Anyway, the next thing I wanted to do was look at producing more urea. Well, there's good news for this, which is urea can be made. I had forgotten about this, and now that we're making a bunch of other things that produce wastewater, urea can be made from wastewater. So that is a pretty high priority right now, is to make wastewater to urea plant. So let's get that going. I don't know how many evaporators we need, but let's toss some into the auto mall here. Evaporators, let's say 8, I don't know. And then we need to put that somewhere. Because there's also a lot of places where we're using urea to make ammonia and cyanic, and instead we should do, because remember what we can do is instead make ammonia, instead of ammonia plus cyanic, we can make triple the amount of ammonia, and then the ammonia can be used to make 1-to-1 when we combine with coal and methane cyanic. So we end up using less urea overall. Though, how much less? It's not that much less, right? And then we have to add in a ton. I guess that's not that much better. If you only care about ammonia, of course it's better. But this makes a total of 60 units of fluid, and this only makes a total of 100 units of fluid, which is only 66% more. Which is, I mean, it's more, but then we also have to add in methane and coal. So the extra bonus, I don't know. It does save urea, but it uses methane and coal to save urea. So that makes it a little bit less good. And eventually we'll get blood to urea, which is going to be great as well in the atomizer. So for now, though, wastewater to urea is going to be the play. And we're going to set that up pretty much anywhere that we have stations. We can set that up. Maybe I set it up here? I mean, I don't know. It's kind of one of those, like, doesn't matter at all. Maybe I set it up here. It's a side product. So what we want is, because wastewater only produces side products anyway. We've got methanol. I would never do that. That makes no sense. So methanol and urea are basically the only things we can make out of it. You can clean it, but again, we're never going to do that. That's got to be the worst way to make nitrogen in the history of the planet. And then apparently there's a Zyhifo turd that causes you to use wastewater there, and then there's eventually wastewater to make better logs, but I just feel like that's a waste of wastewater. And you can clean it to saline water, which again we'll never do. So really, this is the only use for wastewater, like 90% of the time. So what I think I want is a high priority. And is it possible I would ever have byproduct urea? I mean, I guess wastewater urea is well, and it decays from albumin and collagen, though I'm trying to prevent that from being a thing. But then we'd have byproduct ammonia, which could work on producing, like, free formamide, I guess. Or free-ish melamine, which could be plastic. I'm just trying to think if like byproduct ammonia is gonna be a thing. Like, do I need to care about channels here? Because the urea that I'm currently producing is just going on to a multi-provider on channel 1. So yeah, why don't we start with this? Why don't we go, we'll go down here, we'll add in a station for fluid request. I don't know why I forgot that we have to care about belts here. We're gonna request wastewater, and we're gonna request 75. We'll say 74, 250, and that's gonna be on channel 2 only. Although, again, is there such a thing as anything that would ever request wastewater on channel 1? I don't think so. But where's wastewater even being made? Other than fish and zip here. It's being made in a lot of places. Casein, zip here, fish eggs. Zip here, eggs. So mostly fish, but also the casein mixture. So 2 places so far, and in the casein mixture, oh, by the way, we need to go catch up on that. We do have wastewater in its own trash plant as well. Okay, perfect. So then let's go ahead and drive down to Corlex Town and get that updated. Whoa, gosh, that scares me. The trains are all signaled correctly, but it still scares me. Improved manure. We also need Yaedols setup. Wastewater to urea. Alright. And then we need to restart sponges, I think. But we have fixed it now, so it shouldn't break down again. But we're gonna need to do that. So it should be fine now, because this is confirming we're only making muddy sludge in the first place if we have at least 1,000 Zogna. And 1,000 Zogna should be enough to run 2,500 muddy sludge through the pipes. So I guess we need to actually have 2,000 Zogna then on those. And that should be enough to run 5,000 muddy sludge, which is pretty much what we've got. Perfect. Okay, so then that's done. Let's go add some more Corlex to the mix. Probably done? Or close to done? I think that's enough, yeah. What? Why is it not building? I'm hitting spacebar. Weird. I don't know why Blueprint Shotgun was not working there. That was really weird. I wonder, it did update recently. I wonder if it got broken somehow. Okay, I do not want to end up with random things in my inventory. Sweet. Okay, and milk is going here. We know we've already got casein going. We saw that show up. Not a ton of wastewater, but again, it's free urea, so it counts for something. Casein's built up to 343. Milk's built up to 3,000. Beautiful. All right, so we'll go back over here. And we're gonna work on just a bunch of evaporators. Oh, wait, I guess I need the... Oh, you know what? I need to change my hotkey in GregTech to M, because I keep doing M for map. But why do I do M for map? I have tab for map in this game. I still haven't learned to use tab for remote view. I keep using M. It's so muscle memoried at this point. Okay, so we need to grab these evaporators. And then head on our merry way down to here. We also need to add more trains. Add more trains into network. That needs to happen sometime soon. Okay. So then this is all rip-roaring ready to go. We'll add in a RoboPort because we're probably going to extend this pretty far. And this is wastewater fluid side request because I did want this to be channel 2. And then we'll just grab a bunch of evaporators. I guess we're going to need a trash provide for urea. Not F trasher. Whoops. Strong side? No. Weak side. Trash extension. For urea. And because of how, you know, when you're using side products, you often want bigger buffers because that will allow you to have less frequent deliveries of stuff. So we'll go greater than 8,000 before it goes to trash mode. Or no, maybe even 10,000. Because this has 144 slots. So that way we have a very large buffer ready to go. And then I'll kind of just put these along here. How fast do these go? That's 533 wastewater. I'm pretty sure we've never made anywhere near that. Well, what is that? Take away a 0, 263, divide by 6. It's like 40 a second. Am I doing that right? 1 a second is 60 a minute, so 600. Yeah, that's about 40 a second. Okay. And the output is 3.33 urea at max. Wow. Actually, like a lot. That's more than a full belt of urea. I mean, do I actually care to support that? No. I think by the time I have that much wastewater, I'm also gonna have belt stacking for normal inserters at that point. Alright, so then that comes over and up. And then the wastewater next to here. I mean, that's literally it. That was easy. So easy a caveman could do it. So easy a Dingrito could do it. Okay. And then these 4 will all be close side. Alright, that's it. There's tons of urea for us. That really helps a lot. Thanks, Jace. Helps a lot. Alright, let's start looking at the Yaedols setup, because that's like right around the corner. We've got some short researches here, so let's even move it up. We'll get accumulators eventually. I forget why I even wanted... Oh, I wanted accumulators to be able to handle the spikes from the centrifuges. Because remember, centrifuges use so much power. What you can do, imagine this is an accumulator. You can separate power networks like this. Is it shift click? And then basically the accumulator will charge and discharge. And that way, whatever's over here can only consume as much power as the accumulator can transfer. So that's one way to limit power usage on a block. And remember, when we're running those centrifuges, it's never like we needed them to run constantly. And so that was totally fine. All right, let's get the Yaedol set up for the original cDNA stuff. So for initial Yaedols, I think we literally only need one, technically. Am I seeing that correctly? Because Yaedols only require Yaedols spores, which literally come for free from spore collectors. So that is true. We literally only need one. What I might do... Call me crazy. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna pin this. And this way I can... We need spores though. Hold on. We need spore collectors. Over here in the auto mall. Do those need to get crafted? They do. Okay, that's fine. So we'll head up there in a second. I need more moss gene samples and a few mushroom DNA samples. Those should be fine. Where am I keeping moss gene samples these days? I think we should be good on good alien or poor alien samples. And cDNA, I need like 5 apiece. So I'll probably make like 2 Yaedols just because we can, 2 or 3. But yeah, where are moss gene samples? I want to say we made them, but where did I make them? It was like in this region, or was that the old place and now they're made down here? You know, this is where the search actually does help me. No, they are still over there. Okay. Yeah, there we go. Alright, I'll take 50 of those. So then what we can do is I can use this to grab a recipe we've never crafted before. It's not cheating. Is that crustacean? Don't need that. Move back to mushroom. DNA sample. And I need what? 1 apiece? Yeah. So we just need 1 Fuoji complex. And then a single wooden chest. What an odd request. I guess we'll throw those in there too. And 100 automation packs. We got plenty. I just middle clicked there to try to sort it. Classic Minecraft commands. That is one thing that I do wish Factorio had, actually, is the ability to sort a chest automatically. Okay, so we've got the mushroom samples. Now we're gonna need to grab some of these, some cDNA, the moss gene, the biosamples, which should be easy enough. And then we need a spore collector, and everything else is just the codice and stuff. Okay. So let's head back and grab our spore collectors. Guys, we are getting towards Pi 2. Like, we're almost there. All we have to do is set up all the buildings. You know, we might get there before the 200-hour celebration stream, because that's still about a week away. But and like I said, I'll let you guys know what day exactly it is. I'm gonna hope it can be on a weekend today, but it's possible it'll be the Friday after this comes out. I think this episode's this... Wait, no. This is a Monday episode. So it might be this Friday or Saturday or Sunday. I will definitely announce it on my Discord. Look at that, removing the excess. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. That's such a cool little system. And then I can turn this off and then grab that. Anyway, yeah, so I'll let you guys know on my Discord, and I'll also update here, you know, in the coming days. Because the way that I record the episodes before the weekend, so I can have the weekends off. So even though this is the Monday episode, I'm recording it on Friday. So I'm still not sure exactly what my next weekend's plans look like. But yeah, I guess I'm still gonna have to wait a minute. That's gonna take like half an hour before I can do this. But I guess we can get the spore collectors collecting the 2 different... Well, I guess I can get the... I can't get the Yaedol spores collecting yet. But I can get the pYanodon's spores collecting. And just put in a box. Sure. And now, while Yaedols are researching, we'll set up the fungal substrate. No, we said we were just going to make that on site. Never mind. Though it does beg the question, is there a better recipe for pYanodon's now that uses fungal substrate? There is not. The next one does. How much better is that? We go from 3 spores in 100 seconds making 7 to 3 spores in 80 seconds making 15. Wow, it more than doubles the output and cuts the crafting time to 4/5, which is an extra 25% plus doubling. That's like 2.5 times the output rate by adding in some fungal substrate, which is not that expensive. Well, I mean, it kind of is. I don't know, it depends on how many pYanodon's per second we're talking. But even 15 pYanodon's a second would only need 0.2 logs per second. How many logs per second do I make? 3.2. Okay, so not that many logs at the end of the day. Got it. Got it. Sweet. Okay, so mycology stage 2 is done. So now we're just waiting for that, which is about 25 minutes away. What can we do in 25 minutes? We got our wastewater to urea set up. Let me check on that. Is that all working properly? It is. Oh, it's beautiful. Look at that. Look at that urea. Oh my gosh. That's incredible. Okay, now there's a part of me that's wondering, is it cheaper? Oh yeah, look at all this wastewater we have backed up. I'm so glad I did that. Is it cheaper to make fish to make your urea? Is that an actual thing? Like, do you guys see what I'm saying? Hold on, I'm actually curious. I am legit curious. This is kind of a dead thing here. So if I do urea 2 ways. Sounds like a recipe. Urea 2 ways. So 1 way. Yeah, let's just go for 10 urea and see what the cost is. This is going to be a little tricky to get all correct, but 1 way would be fish. And that way requires, I guess it needs filtration media, is kind of costly. But, and then the fish eggs, we're not doing the filtration media recipe. Okay, but it does net us a ton of extra fish. How else can I make wastewater? I don't think we can just make it. Not really. Yeah, that would be too easy if you could. So, in the process of making it, okay, we need to reduce this percentage. That's what, oh, spoilage factor, that's a new thing in Helmod. If we do 50%, we're still getting too many fish. 40% actually seems to be Exacxes. Perfect. Okay, so that, you actually get more wastewater from the eggs in this configuration, weirdly enough. That's a pretty steep cost for 10 urea, 60 phytoplankton. But if we wanted from manure, we would need the Zogna bacteria, which we've already decided has the petri dish cost, though it's not massive. It does add up. The agar, which has a seaweed cost associated. Glass cost, that's just glass and iron and copper. I'm ignoring iron and copper, those are so cheap. But then the manure is a pretty large amount. How many AUG paddocks are we talking here? I also need to look into other manure recipes eventually, but for now we're doing this one. 30 alg paddocks, and we're talking 6 moss a second, which decent amount of stone, quite a bit of flora. One of these is worse. Probably the fish one is worse still. Also 199 megawatts, jeez. Fish take a good amount of power. And also the phytoplankton is an absurd amount of phytoplankton, so that's not happening anytime soon. Okay, well, I mean, there are options here. I love that we can just turn flue gas directly into phytoplankton, and it's faster than the other recipe. We're actually gonna have to do that one then. It's literally twice as fast, and all it needs is flue gas. I never set up the flue gas for my ash situation, unfortunately. Okay, well anyway, that was interesting to look into, but it is not netting me anything. So should I start setting up Pi2 Science right now? Is it actually time to start with like all the chaos of good alien samples and the Sarcoris and Peregrine? Because artificial blood is coming in externally, so we can ignore that. I wish there was a way. It doesn't seem like there is, right? Are these buildings getting counted in it? Or are they not? Yeah, that's such a bummer. So, what I would love... What if I unlink it? Does that remove them from the list? No, it's still there. I would love if you could only get the buildings that weren't in sub-blocks. Because right now we can get the sub-block buildings here, but I can't get the main block buildings that aren't in a sub-block. These 5. You see what I'm saying? Is that a preference somewhere? I don't think so. No, that's a different thing. I think. Oh, that just disappears it entirely. Yeah, we don't want that. Yeah, this is one thing. I might actually ask for it, because this is something I could see being possible. Because I like what am I trying to say? I like being able to know both, right? It's really nice to be able to look at this and be like, this is everything I need for the entire production line. That is a good feature. I want that. But I also want to be able to see what are the things I need for this layer of the production line only, and not all the sub layers. Because you might be building the sub layers in separate train blocks or whatever, like we already have. And so I think I'd prefer if we could have a setting, and I'd be okay if it was even just a preference. We could go in, change it real quick, grab the buildings, change it back, you know. I don't think you need to change that frequently. It would be nice if there was a toggle here or something. But yeah, I think some way to be able to get the buildings out of this without the sub blocks. Because as far as I can tell, there's no way I can even like cheese it. I guess I could copy this and then delete it and then paste it back in. That's a really weird way to do it. Don't want the logistic row. What? Whoa, you can do secondary icons? I did not know that. That's cool. Global bonus. Yeah, I don't think any of these things help with what we're wanting. I don't understand what deep count does. Huh. Yeah, in summary, just told us everything. Okay, I don't think there's a way to do it. So we can just add manually, I guess. We'll just pin this and add them manually to a... we need to go to our actual inventory. Temp crafting A, we need incubator. That's gonna be 1, 2, 3. We need gene lab uno and a crafting. Okay, so that's done. And then we need, for the good alien samples, we need what? 2 more gene labs, so pump that up to 3. We actually need a, oh, wait, I don't need a slaughterhouse. I do need to update the crap to kill arcads though. I need 2 biofactories. I need another incubator, pump that up to 4. Pulp mill, a ball mill, and an FBR. Pulp mill 1. Ball mill 1. And fluidized bed reactor. Really? What's it actually called? I typed fluid and it didn't work. Oh, it's called FB reactor. So if I type FBR... Wait, now I'm just confused. Didn't I type fluid? Did I misspell fluid? Oh, I did fluid space. That's what I did. Okay. Alright, so that should be everything we need. We need to update the crap to handle arcads. So let's actually work on that for a moment. I also need to add more slaughterhouses. So let's go do that. Let's add 1 more. I think I only have 4 in my inventory. Yeah, I want to add 5. We want it to have 10 chop houses. Let's get that over here. I don't know if we have any slaughterhouses yet. No, it'll have to get crafted. This could take some time. Maybe I should handcraft it. Yep, we can handcraft one. I'll just do that. And then make some more steam engines and then remove that. Oh, that output was off. Whoops. You know, that might have actually been capable of what we wanted. Okay, get rid of the extras. Got extras of everything, man. I love that get rid of extras button. That is so cool. Alright, turn that off. Grab the stuff. Delete everything. Turn it back on. Perfect. That is so nice. Just get a little shopping list going. Okay, so back to the crap. Remember, crap and turd are acronyms. The centralized repository for animal processing. The upgrade research device. Technological upgrade? What's the T? I don't remember what the T stands for. Anyway, so first off, we're gonna need more fluids here. But that's okay, because these are enable disable style, so I could have up to 12. So that's nice. So let's hook these up. And they all need to be set to enable disable. And then this one's going to be for what's it called? Arthropod blood? Well, there's arcad venom. 0.834 and arthropod blood 1.112. But which one did we actually need? The venom. So we're gonna end up with extra arthropod blood. Okay. Anyway, the Those will both be available here. Venom, arthropod blood. What did it say? Purple, but still for the blood god. That's funny. Okay, and then power those up. And then we'll get a couple more. Why do we have the weird tanks here? I guess... No, I'm gonna do my smaller tanks for this. No. I want pipette on that. There's no way we're ever gonna want this much Arcad Venom or Arthropod blood. There's just no way. I don't buy it. Alright, so then the Venom is here. And the other one, Arthropod blood, is here. But then we need the pump filter. Like that and like that. And this one needs to be filtered on Venom. And you need to be filtered on blood, but the purple blood. Wait, what was the other kind of blood? There's 4 bloods? Simic blood. Unknown, exotic, and exciting substances are present in this blood. Oh, it didn't say, but also still for the blood god. Okay, so that should hook those up properly. Those will get pumped out. And then we need to measure them with red and green. One of those is for the train station. One of them is for this system. To say, hey, we need stuff. So... And remember, it's the number multiplied by 100 that we end up meeting. So Arcad Venom, I think 20,000 is enough. Hold on, let me just copy this idea. I'm gonna do Venom here. So not 100,000, but just 20,000 Venom. And then this is going to be blood, arthropod blood. I mean, I guess I might as well do a full train worth. It's just going to take 10 years. Okay. And then those outputs get connected here and here. Alright. Sorry, I had to sneeze. And then we want to set up a new system. God, we're out of fish oil completely? What am I using fish oil for? Wait, what? Is it Corlex food? It might be Corlex food is eating all our fish oil. I hadn't really considered that. How much fish oil are we talking? 2 a second? And how many fish is 2 fish oil? Each one is about 12. Each fish is about 12 fish oil. So then 1/6 of a fish per second? No, that shouldn't be too problematic. It might just be my chop house is too slow. Or I don't have enough fish on the belt? No, I've got 60 fish. Yeah, our chop house is too slow right now. Because Vrauks are turned on. Wait, why are Vrauks? Vrauks are turned on. Because formic acid's a little low. Yeah, we definitely need more. I mean, that is why we're here. I am gonna go ahead. This feels a little risky, but I think we're gonna want 5 more and then another 5 underneath. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna add a space where belts can go if we really need them. And then I'm gonna just straight copy this entire thing like this. And then bots are gonna come and bring everything that's needed. Okay. And then that should work. And then the things that are connected are all connected. We just need the red wire here to connect to the red wire here, and the green wire here to connect to the green wire here. And then all the settings should already be correct as well. And then we'll get those belts connected eventually. And then we'll increase the counts of things. We'll go up to maybe 90 of each thing. And then we need to add in another belt, which will be for, I think I'll put it up here actually, and that'll be left for arcades. And weirdly enough, we don't cage the, well, I guess they'd get out of the cage maybe. I guess it depends on what you consider a cage. It would be a mesh cage, obviously. Yeah, arcade. Bada bing, bada boom. All right, and then we'll have arcades coming in on this belt on the top side. And then we need one of these setups. I remember loosely that there was a better way to do this that someone had recommended, and I don't remember what it was. So I'm just gonna stick with what I'm already doing for now. Maybe we rebuild it someday. The arcades will then be on the top, and then this merges with input priority left. And then this is arcades. Ah! I'm okay, I'm okay, I'm okay. Arcades are on the top going that way, so they're on the bottom going this way. That's the wrong one, of course. Always do the wrong one first. That's the rule. Okay. So that's good, and now we set the request. Arcade for 500. I'm gonna bump this request threshold up to 5. Now, do we have that many arcades? I have not looked at arcades in a long time. We have plenty. We have 2,000 arcades ready to go. And 1 million more on the way. Okay, that should do it. So they're on the bottom side of the belt. They'll end up on the top side of the belt here. That's all correct. They'll end up on that side, which is the top side. Okay. So arcade, slice and dice should be set up. And the actual recipe for arcade is meat, chitin, guts, arthropod blood, and arcade venom. So meat, chitin, guts is all we need. So I'm gonna start with this guy, because those also have meat, chitin, guts. And then this can be arthropod blood, output arcade full render, and this can be arcade venom. And then we also need to set up this guy to say arcade, output arcade full render -1. And then these are both 95, and then these are all just under 40. We'll slice up some arcades. And that should do it. And apparently the bots are still coming with all these belts, but they are coming. Oh, there they are. There's the horde. The horde is still a little ways away. For the horde! I'm still surprised about this fish oil problem. Now, I doubt these would ever overflow, but just in case. Also, isn't all of this compostable? It's actually not. Only the blood is. But I could compost the excess blood. That's actually not a bad idea, and get free biomass. Or, well, later I'll get free urea out of it, so maybe that's really what we'll do. But we don't have the recipe for that yet. Anyway, the Arcad Venom cannot be composted. Arthropod blood can. Can arthropod blood do anything else? Can't make wastewater or urea out of that. You can add iron to it. That's funny. Switch out iron for copper in the blood and turn it into regular blood. Nickel and cumene make organic solvent. That's actually not crazy. Maybe a little crazy. And then we need it for vanabins and a bunch of other random stuff. Okay. Well, that's just for backup. Alright, here come the hordes. The final ones are getting here slow, but they still won't be too long, so I think it's okay to now do this and this. And that will screw things up for a hot second. That'll actually screw things up for a very hot second. I'm gonna remove those real quick. And I'll put them back in when it's time. Because this is still, I mean, I don't want the belts to fill with creatures until that one arrives, because he might be the weakest link keeping the whole thing from being connected. In fact, I know he will be, because this is a singular belt segment, so it won't be connected until the final belt gets here. I already know that's the case. And the reason I did this is so that the bottom row can come up and merge with that, rather than having to go all the way around. I guess we could also come up on the left and merge in it. Or just come up on the left with a separate input. Maybe that's what I'll do, to be frank. Alright, you got a charge, so you're gonna be the last one, maybe? Last hog to the trough here. Yaedols are almost done. Oh no, he's gonna be the last one. It was neck and neck, but he had to pit stop. Just kidding. There's a few more that are still even further away. Okay, one of these guys, if they have to charge, it's all over. It looks like this guy's gonna be last, or no, maybe this guy. Hard to tell. All right. I know I could just build these, by the way. I'm well aware of that. And click. Click, click, click. There we go. All right, so then I paste this back in. And then I'll put the creatures that I have in my inventory back in the original chest. But yeah, that should do it. In terms of rates, I don't know if that's good enough. 2.4 a second just on fish. We should maybe put fish on the other side, actually. Because doesn't fish render more than one at a time? Yeah, fish renders 8 at a time. What does cotton gut render? Cotton guts render 5 at a time, and then the other ones render like 1 at a time, right? Arcad renders 3 at a time, okay. Vrauk renders, I think, 1 at a time, and Aug renders, I think, 1 at a time. Yeah, so putting fish on the other side actually does make a lot of sense. Fish less than 90. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Wait, what did I break? What? Why are these not being read? Uh-oh. Stop, 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 stop. What happened? Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. those up again. What is going on? This is reading, sending to that. Oh, I'm such a dummy. That was the one it was connected to. Goodness. I think it was connected like that, and I just totally jacked it up. Alright. Pay attention before you delete belts. That's my wisdom for today. Okay, and then I'm just gonna hoover up a little bit of the extras there. And then plop them back in up here. So fish, cage brow, cotton gut, arcad. Alright, so anyway, we need way more than 90 fish, right? Because this is how many belts? This is 260 belts. So if I want up to 2 fish a second, I'm gonna need 260 times 2. That'll get me about 3.5, so maybe 1.8 here. We're gonna need a crap ton of fish. Cotton guts, we're probably gonna need like 300. We'll do 100 on all the singles. And remember, we added in 2 inserters, 1 on each side, so they're more likely to be able to find one. But yeah, there you go. There's all the fish rendering going. I think we hooked up everything we needed to hook up. There's no circuits on the top. And the red circuits are all hooked up because we copied the whole setup. So, we're doing a lot more fish slaughtering now. Hopefully that's fast enough. A lot of fish oil. We're up to 14% fish oil though. But yeah, we should be twice as fast at responding to like trains coming and picking up materials, and so that should work a lot better. You know, just because before it would take a while for 5 slaughterhouses to slaughter the amount that we needed for a fish oil train or whatever. So things will catch up twice as fast now, which is good. And then it looks like the mixer's doing its job properly. And are fish making it to the end? They are. Okay. I think we're good then. I think we're good. The crap has been updated to murderize another animal. Perfect. And Yaedols are now researched, so we can get those going. Sweet. Oh boy, we're getting close. We're getting really close. Like, I think the next 5 to 10 episodes, we're gonna have Pi2 science. Because at this point, once Yaedols are done, I think I literally have everything, and it's just setting it up on trains. There might be 1 or 2 small things that I forgot, but I've looked through this list a lot of times, so if there is something I forgot, it's not huge. You know, just looking at all these icons, I'm like, yep, got it, right? Like, we have all of these things. So, I think we're pretty much there. I mean, it could be 2 or 3 episodes from now. Wow, that's so awesome. Didn't quite get it under 200 hours though, but it'll be close. But yeah, we're definitely not going to get there by 200. Okay, how many spores? You need 20 spores. This makes 0.05 a second. Oh my gosh. Okay, let's get the other ones going as well. These bad boys are slow. Okay. I'll put those in there. And then we need a Yaedol codex. Beep, 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 beep. What is that? Oh, I unlocked Zyhifo? I forgot about that. And Ulrix. Oh, no, we did set up Ulrix. Never mind. Yeah, we've set up everything. All right. 1 Yaedol codex. Maybe 2. We'll hope for 2. We have an 80% shot at getting it back. Wait, we don't. Wait, that was only on the creature chamber. Oh, wait a second. I actually, okay, I would like to guarantee myself 2 of them. Yeah, let me go grab some more circuits. Yeah, I don't want to just have 1 Yaedol. I was forgetting that the 80% is only for creature chamber stuff. In my head, it was just, we always get the DNA samples back at a rate of 80%, and that is not true. Okay. Get that one going. And then this will be 2 Yaedols. So we have enough spores, which we're very close. Need a few more here. And then we'll have our first Yaedols. Oh, and I need to also order at the auto mall 14 Yaedol plantation. Yaedols culture. 14. On. And the logistics bots go crazy. All right, some more spores. There we go. Ooh, it only takes 35 seconds? I like to see that. That's way faster than normal. This is gonna be the delay. Sweet, sweet, sweet. All right. Just need 11 more Yaedol spores. This is good stuff. Nice. The first Yaedols. What did it describe them as? Nothing. It doesn't describe them at all. Advanced biotechnology allows you to understand significant differences of the alien molecular structure and chemical composition required to manufacture this new species. It's just a tasty mushroom, I guess. Seven more spores. And this is still gonna take forever. It's gonna take another 4 minutes. Or something like that. I hate waiting. Alright, that one's done. We can pick these up. And then that will go automatically. The auto mall is still working on things. Absolute cloud of robots. Yeah, I mean, the 200 concrete is pretty brutal. And 100 circuits and 100 titanium. That's 400 plus everything else. That adds up. That adds up. Okay, so that's actually going to take a little while. So then I guess we can add trains into the network. Let's work on that while the auto mall's finishing up. So we could add a few more here. That's kind of long distance from everything. This area can only handle a few more before it's running into this. I could add some right here. That's not crazy. There's nothing serving the south side of the base very well. I also really need to attach this corner. I think that will help with traffic a little bit, because then they can go down that way. And that shortens their distance to get to stuff over here by 1 block. You know, because they have to go out of the way. Anyway, what am I thinking here? I don't really want to add a new situation in yet, so what I will do is just copy. These are all solids, right? You can get into danger if you copy fluids into fluids. Yeah, those are all solids. These bottom three. So we'll just do that. That. And that's space for 3 more trains. Let's make sure there's all the straight belts queued up. Yeah, I was missing one of each, which is crazy. Okay. So that'll be room for 3 more solids, and let's actually do one more. And that last one will be fluids. I don't know which one of you is fluids. That one. You can tell by the color. Don't need this random piece of belt. Yeah, that should do it. And then look at that. Can't find enough trains. Good thing we're solving that problem. Also, let's check on the crap with its recently updated situation. They're still all wanting to render fish, but we're up to 29% on that, so that's good. It's not getting a chance to render arcads because it's doing other things first. Oh no. Shoot. You guys see what's happening? I see what's happening. If we have not enough, it's gonna do that weird cycling thing. Because each building is gonna have part, and we're adding it all together, we could have up to 35, we could have up to 70 fish, and none of them can run the recipe. So it's at exactly 71 fish that I would have guaranteed enough to at least run one recipe. But the problem is all the building, I mean, I have to do fish. Oh wait, it's not reading the buildings? Yeah, because that one has 2, that one has 1. 1, 2, 2. And this is only showing up. Oh. Well, now it's showing all the new ones on the belt. Dang it. Shoot. No, that's only connected to the output. I'm sorry. That's connected to the output. These buildings. The input to these is coming from what's on the belt and what's in the inserter's hands. Okay. So on the belt and in the inserter's hands, we need there to be at least 8 fish. I mean, that's not really gonna work properly still, is it? This is super annoying. I don't know how to do this properly. Guess we just requested some formic acid. So we won't render fish if we have less than, let's just say 40 on the belt. Let's just be arbitrary. It's just, the problem is we can end up in this weird loop where if we have 50 on the belt, as soon as it tries to render fish, then what it'll do is different buildings will grab 10 of them at the same time and it'll immediately cancel everything. And then the fish will get spat out and nothing will happen, and it'll just loop the fish like that. I guess that's fine. It's not great. I also just realized we never put arcades here. There's one more thing we forgot to do. Oh, and no, never mind. Arcades don't output a new type of solid, so we don't need to worry about that. Uh-oh. How did I end up with that many extra cotton guts? That's a problem. Oh, and we need to be done with this episode. Okay. Sorry, panic. I don't know how to fix that is the problem. Where am I? Okay, let's grab our second Yaedol. Don't need any of that. Move on. Okay, moving on. What are we doing? How do I fix the crap here? I think... Therefore, I am. I'm starting to feel more and more like we should have done a system that controls each building separately. But that would be way more complicated circuit stuff than what I'm already doing, which is fairly complicated. I'm thinking all these cotton guts... Well, you know what? No, now that I realize it... Now that I realize it, I'm realizing... we need to do something a little different here. Shoot. Okay, good. Hopeful that I could move that. Here's what we need to do. We need to do that, that, and then the cotton guts went onto, what was it? This one. Wait, how did I not end up with cotton guts in my inventory? Just now. How's that possible? That seems weird. Anyway, I ended up with caged Vrauks, which go into which one? This one. But yeah, I think this is the better setup. Okay, so that buffering problem should be fixed. Oh yeah, see, here's the cotton gut thing happening in front of our very eyes. There's a bunch that are getting output. And then the buildings input a bunch. And then they spit a bunch out because they don't have enough to actually craft it. And I can't read the contents. Wait, what am I reading contents for? Oh, I'm just counting that into the output. What if I did read the contents and also put it into here? I could do that on the red channel. The problem is it would also set the recipe. Would that ever matter? Because these are only capable of render recipes. So that shouldn't ever matter. Unless the AUG thing would matter. No, because it would be a caged AUG. So it would read the contents, and then we would stop trying to do the recipe if the grand total was less than 70 or 80 fish or 90 fish or something. And then that means as they get inserted, it wouldn't switch the recipe until a recipe fires off. So we actually would want to not include in crafting, but we want to include in crafting for the other measurement of what we're already making. This is tricky. This is a tricky problem to solve. But I think by nixing these things, if we have like less than 30, is helpful. Or 10 for the singles. Or 30 for arcade. I think that's a little helpful. Arcades need to be like 300. Also, where are my fish at? What's going on here? Are we just not shipping enough at a time? Let's do 20 stacks of fish. Because I should have plenty of fish, right? No? Actually, we don't. Surprising. We ate all of our fish. Okay. Well, we'll make more. We shall make more. Okay. Anyway, yeah, I don't really know the best way to fix it. This should work okay. It'll still have a weird issue, but at least this way it's more likely to get a few crafts done on each cycle. See there, it's trying to do fish, but now this is gonna drop down below. Oh, maybe it won't, because some fish are coming in. This is a weird system. I don't really know what's going on, to be perfectly honest. I don't really know what's going on for sure. So what causes it to cancel a recipe? It'll cancel, I need to be done with this episode. It'll cancel a recipe when it decides, when this happens, when it's partially full and then this triggers. So like, a building could have 7 fish, but then we drop down below 40 on the belt and in inserters, and then it'll say, okay, no, I'm not gonna try anymore. What we really need is some sort of SR latch system, where we only try rendering fish if we have at least like 100, but then we do stop trying to render fish if we drop down to nothing. You know what I mean? Like, maybe some sort of SR latch system for those would have been better. I'm just gonna leave it because it is working right now, technically. So now it's canceled fish right now. So we're gonna see anything that wasn't full of fish is gonna spit fish out. Like that one just spit fish out. Which is probably for the best, because then it can move on to rendering other things. And then the ones that are running fish already are gonna be able to finish their recipe, and then they'll spit out fish, which is okay. And then it'll do fish again. But at least we got a couple fish renderings done, you know what I mean? And a couple other things we're able to switch in the meantime. So I think as far as I can tell, It's not a perfect system, but it does work. Oh, and here's the other problem. Shoot. Yeah, maybe it's worth redoing this entire system. That's a someday. That will be after Pi 2 science, but like right here, we have the issue where because we're low on lard, it's using cotton guts to make lard instead of augs, when augs are a better lard maker. And it has no way to prioritize augs over cotton guts right now for the lard production, if that makes sense, because both signals are being sent. And the buildings, what we could do is choose random. You know, that would be the best way, is to choose a random. But I don't have a way to lock in the random recipe. Otherwise, I could just do a randomizer on every tick. But the problem is it wouldn't lock it in until the craft is done. Or until the craft starts, I should say. So yeah, this is certainly a system. Now, some people would say that the better system, and I certainly could switch to this at some point, and I'm considering it, given all this complication, would be to have a bank of 10 more, 10 more, 10 more, and I just have a bank of 10 or 5 or 10 for every single creature, right? So like we have a bank of 10 for Vraux, we have a, you know, and then we just turn on and off the rendering. I could use the system I have here. You know, this system works well to determine when to turn on and off certain renderings, and then we're rendering animals separately. That certainly is still an option, but at least for now, I'm gonna let this do its thing and see if it can catch up after some time, now that we have 10 running. But yeah, I need to call it an episode here. As always, thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll see y'all in the next one.